I'm definitely expecting a show from the Cowboys this season. Like I said, they have an explosive offense. They have a young defense as well. So we will definitely be tuned in and see, is this the season that the Cowboys really turn it up a notch? Yeah, yeah, Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. Today we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Them boys. Okay, so the Dallas Cowboys they've had really been the talk of the NFL offseason, from drafting Ceedee Lamb, getting a big fish in the first round of the NFL draft, to not signing Dak Prescott. There's been a lot of talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Got a new coach in Mike McCarthy, so we saw the goodbye to the Jason Garrett era. So the Cowboys have a lot of questions to answer. They've had one of the top offensive lines and one of the top offenses in the league in the past 10 years, but have only been to the playoffs 3 times in the last 10 years. They said goodbye to Jason Garrett, and they're saying maybe Jason Garrett was the problem. But is Jason Garrett the problem? Stay tuned. So is this the year that the Cowboys have to prove themselves? And I usually hate the talk, oh, which team has more to prove? Because everybody has something to prove. You know, everybody wants to come out and win. But the Cowboys really have a lot to prove. They were 8-8 last season in a very, very poor division. The Giants had a losing record, and the Washington team had a losing record. The Eagles were the only team barely with a winning record, and the Cowboys did not make the playoffs, even though they had one of the most electric offenses out of everyone in the league. Dallas's offense was really ran by Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and Randall Cobb. Together, this offense created magic, but it just wasn't enough to get to the playoffs. And a lot of people are asking why. Dak Prescott ranked number 3 in the league in 20-plus yard deep ball throws as well. Dak Prescott also finished 4th in Pro Football Focus's rushing quarterbacks and had an overall 76th grade. So the addition of Ceedee Lamb is really a big question, because Dallas already had an explosive offense. They also had a top 5 passing offense as well. So they lost Randall Cobb, which, you know, people might be saying, oh, Randall Cobb for Ceedee Lamb, you know, fair trade, or even you're getting better in Ceedee Lamb. But let's not forget what Randall Cobb did for the Cowboys last season. He might not have been Amari Cooper, but Randall Cobb had 828 receiving yards and 6.1 yards after the catch per reception. That was Randall Cobb. So Dallas was really 11 yards away from having the most productive trio in 2019. So can you really do better by adding Ceedee Lamb? You might can do just as well or a hair better, but the offense wasn't the problem for the Cowboys. The offense was very dominant. So adding Ceedee Lamb doesn't really it's not really an upgrade with the loss of Randall Cobb. Now, Dallas isn't just coming in the 2020 season with one of the top offenses. They're coming in with one of the top linebacker groups as well. So the Dallas Cowboys were ranked number 2 in Pro Football Focus's 2020 linebacker group ratings. That's really due to Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. They still have Sean Lee, one of their OG linebackers, who's really old now, but he's still going to be very, very important coming in as a role player. So they're coming in with a number 2 linebacker group. They're coming off of a season where they had one of the top offenses, and their offense is only going to get better in this 2020 season. They also we already know for the last couple of years, they have one of the best offensive lines held down by Tyron Smith. So their offense is definitely not the problem. Their defense is really not looking like the problem either. However, they might run into a little problem with the defense now that they lost Byron Jones in the offseason. So the Cowboys had the number 10 passing defense last season, giving up about 3,500 yards. Now Byron is gone to Miami. So that's a really big hole that's left on the defense. The Cowboys did get Trevon Diggs out of the second round of the NFL draft, and they're hoping that he can be that guy that can step up in place of Byron Jones. It's not a huge ask. It can happen. Trevon Diggs was looking to be a first-round pick out of Alabama, but the Cowboys were able to secure him in the second round and also was able to add Ceedee Lamb as well. So I say they had a very, very good draft, and they're really hoping for these draft picks to hit the ground running, especially out of Trevon Diggs, because they lost that number one corner out of Byron Jones. Ceedee Lamb doesn't have as much pressure on him because he, has Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup and Ezekiel Elliott and a good passer in Dak Prescott. But Trevon Diggs is going to have a lot of pressure on him because he's filling big shoes in Byron Jones. So yes, the Cowboys added a lot of additions to an already good team in the offseason, but they also added a lot of drama as well. So they added Andy Dalton. They paid him, but they didn't pay Dak. Now, Andy Dalton was a starting quarterback for the Bengals. So really, the Cowboys signed a starting quarterback to a backup role. A little messy in my opinion, but they didn't pay Dak Prescott. I guess they didn't feel like he proved his worth for one of those big long-term contracts. So he is on the franchise tag for another year. We all know he was looking for a long-term deal, so I don't know how that will affect him on the field. His brother was tweeting after he didn't get the deal done. His brother was tweeting saying how he didn't like the Cowboys organization. So that is very, very messy. Also, the fact that they're bringing in a new coach and Mike McCarthy, and the fact that these teams aren't having a traditional offseason. They just canceled preseason games. So you have a lot of new pieces that's coming together, and it's not a traditional offseason where they can work out the kinks before the season starts. So we might see them starting off the season a little rusty just for all of those factors. So since 2010, the Cowboys have won the NFC. I'm definitely expecting a show from the Cowboys this season. Like I said, they have an explosive offense. They have a young defense as well. So we will definitely be tuned in and see, is this the season that the Cowboys really turn it up a notch? NFC East 4 times and won a Super Bowl in these last 10 years. Also, in the last 10 years, the Giants have won the NFC East 2 times, and they have won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years. And in the last 10 years, the Cowboys has had one of the most talented rosters, one of the most talented offensive line and offenses in the NFL. So the question is, what has been the problem for the last 10 years? So we don't know. The Cowboys really are trying to figure out what the problem is. They're saying, okay, maybe it was Jason Garrett, so let's bring in a new coach. Jason Garrett wasn't the most loved coach. His play calling wasn't the most favorited. So they did bring in a new coach, and Mike McCarthy, who does have a Super Bowl win with the Packers. So they have Mike McCarthy. They're thinking Mike McCarthy might be the difference maker. And they also are testing out, they brought in another wide receiver. Even though I just said how productive Randall Cobb was, I don't think adding a wide receiver is really going to make a difference. The Cowboys offense was already top of the notch. So they brought in Ceedee Lamb, and they didn't pay Dak. They kept on the franchise tag, and I guess they're trying to see, is Dak not necessarily the problem, but is he going to be a difference maker for the team? That's really the question. I don't think Dak Prescott is a problem at all. I think he's a very good quarterback, but I guess they want to see, can he be an exceptional quarterback when the time allows. Now, the Cowboys do have some tough matchups this season. They have to play the Philadelphia Eagles twice. They play the Pittsburgh Steelers. They play the Seattle Seahawks. Always a tough matchup for the NFC East teams. And they have to play the 49ers coming off the NFC Championship. So we're going to stay tuned. We're going to stay dialed in and figure out, Cowboys, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely expecting a show from the Cowboys this season. Like I said, they have an explosive offense. They have a young defense as well. So we will definitely be tuned in and see, is this the season that the Cowboys really turn it up a notch? Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Bye.